Hello and welcome to another model video. This is Alan from the Mokotta Man at YouTube with a airbrush review from OPHIR. We've got this almost high-end looking airbrush. The front of it is a bit special. It mimics the nozzle and needle combination of other brands. The rear end is pretty much the same thread and same old with all of your other thread sizes for your Hysings and your Sparmaxes and Deltas and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to crack it open, we're going to assemble it, grease it up, do some lines and see what we think about it. They are selling these on eBay currently as a cheap airbrush alternative, as well as bundling them with compressors. So keep an eye out for them. I wouldn't recommend going out of your way to get it specially, because replacing the nozzle is going to be difficult. But if you've got no choice and it's bundled with a compressor, with a bit of care, you look after it, it works out well, but you'll also get a generic Hysing. So first, I don't like importing them in these plastic crates. They have a tendency of cracking and breaking and whatnot, so they're normally quite useless, and once you have it assembled, you transport it as is. Unfortunately, this comes with quite a few accessories, so you do want to keep it in a container. The first thing that's noticeable is the nozzle wrench is dramatically different. We've got multiple cups and the airbrush itself. So when we remove the nozzle head, we notice that it's a really big brass spike. It's a 0.5, so it unloads quite a bit of paint, though it does accompany with a very large cup. Though your needle is just your standard 0.5, nothing special about that. It's the same one everybody else imports. The air solenoid is a bit troublesome as it's all welded into place. You'll have to pull apart the mechanisms if you want to fix anything, or if there's a serious clog. I already really dislike that about this design. It does look really slick and really nice, very attractive to buy. It's a very pretty looking airbrush, but it's just not as practical. So you can see that this is exactly the same thing with your other airbrushes. Like the other OPHIR, the tongue is attached to the center shaft. You can see that the solenoid's still in there. Now, the biggest problem is, and you have to be really careful, if you pull this out, and you pull the needle out, and the paint travels back and goes down here, you are royally screwed. Not an ideal airbrush for beginners. So I would say shelve this for a while until you get good on your other airbrush, and then utilize it later. Being a 0.5, just keep it for your primers and your top coats. Going to take this bit off. Now we notice with other airbrushes, when the seal dies there, you're in a bit of trouble airflow wise, so not a big fan about that either. What I've also found is this piece has a very long thread, so there's potential of keeping it airtight as well as that. And it just pops out. So this is a very similar nozzle. This is the exact same nozzle size of all those other brands that do quick change nozzles and needles. So you can utilize and cannibalize these airbrushes just to get to these nozzles. It is quite heavy duty. It's thick as hell. Splitting it is not going to be easy at all. You want to look after it, get a nozzle cleaning tool, keep it clean, keep it fresh, keep it ready. The needles will be replaced, but it is what it is. You've got your two air hole flows there. And realistically, it's a very basic beast. Minimal parts. We'll just grease her up. Now, I've done a little research online, and this cheap eBay airbrush is a little more high-end than I thought. It retails for over $30, though surprisingly it is beautifully smooth. At 0.5 it does these tiny lines, shades out, and it just really feathers nicely. The needle and nozzle works together in perfect harmony, and it pretty much sprays just as well as a high-end airbrush. Impresses me quite a bit. So it might be a piece that I'm keeping for myself. So again, once you come across one of these airbrush compressor combos and it comes with one of these, save it for a little while later, so it works beautifully, and those lines are just as crisp can be, and it just colours things in without a problem. So this is the nicest bootleg airbrush I've ever come across. I've got a few more in order, some new ones that I've noticed, and I'm going to be giving them a go soon as well. So yeah, we may be importing these specially. Be mindful, the nozzle is not standard. You will have to buy it from a name brand. I believe Iwata uses something very similar to this, as well as I think Apache. So you're looking at around the $30 mark for the nozzle itself, which is pretty much just as much as the airbrush retails directly from China. But yeah, this is the review. There are some problems with it. Once you experience with airbrushing, those issues won't be too much of a problem if you're a beginner. I would avoid it for a little while and just use your Hysing branded stuff. For the advanced modeler, might not be a bad workhorse, might not be a bad just for primer and other things. I do have another alternative to a 0.5 rig, as well as getting a Hysing with a large paint container. All in all, thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Catch you guys next time.